Shalom. Good morning, brothers and sisters. In fact, I'm very happy to be invited and to share here because Taman Midah Lutheran Church has been a very strong supporters of the ministry. So that's why I'm happy to be here today. In fact, when Dr. Lee invited me to share in 3 languages, in 3 sections, Mandarin and English, I'm okay with it, but I'm taken aback with the Cantonese. Yeah, of course, I still can speak in Cantonese, but when we talk about biblical words in Cantonese, to me, it's a major challenge. But however, yesterday was the section, my wife said I'm very chong hei, meaning to say I'm too excited to share the ministry until I think I overuse the time given. In fact, my sharing is not finished, but I have to cut it short. If not, it will be 1.5 hours. Everybody will fall asleep. Okay, today I'm going to time myself 40 minutes. Well, if not, I think everybody will start to go for lunch even before finish. Well, again, I would like to say thank you for inviting me here. And Taman Midah has been a strong supporter. Today, I'm going to talk about the... normally, people think about OA ministry is an overall ministry. However, in 2021, our previous Bishop Aaron divided the Asli ministry into 2 sections. One section is talking about project, property, and finance that I'm in. And another section will be on the ministry where the Asli district, the Dean, Pastor Daniel, is in charge. But before that, everything is Pao Ka Liao. In one ministry, everybody is there, and we in charge of ministry, property, finance. But now we make it very clear, so I'm only in charge of property, finance, and project. For example, the renovations, the extensions, the building of the church, and of course, the most important, the finance. Being the biggest spender of LCM budget, Asli ministry taking 800 over 1,000 every year. So being the biggest spender, everybody, the members would like to know why we spend so much. Yeah? Later I will share with you. Before that, let us have a word of prayer. Oba, Father, thank you for gathering us together. We give thanks and praise. So you share your word of God and also touch those who would like to contribute in this ministry. We commit the time onto your hand. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, I believe everybody knows Orang Asli, but to us, Orang Asli are all the same. What I would like to highlight here, Orang Asli, basically they have 3 tribes, 3 major tribes. One is Senoi, one is Aboriginal Malay, one is Semang. These are the 3 major tribes of the Orang Asli. Our LCM focus on the Senoi and the Semang. The Senoi are basically comprises of Tamia, Samai, Maberi, as you can see here. And then Aboriginal Malay will be here, and Semang will be here. We are only talking about Jahai, or LCM focus on Jahai and Kensiao. Right? So this is the percentage of the Orang Asli in these 3 tribes. You can see Senoi and Semang contribute the biggest Orang Asli. Therefore, LCM is only focused on here and this section only. Where are they located? You can see. Orang Asli mainly they need resources from the hutan. That's why they located mainly in the center of Peninsular Malaysia, whereby the biggest hutan are. And of course, some are the coastal. These are those mainly by this group, this small group here, Aboriginal Malay. So LCM is not involved in this Orang Asli ministry. So as you can see, this will be the Orang Asli ministry in LCM. Yeah, Tapa, everybody is very familiar with Tapa, Cameron. And this is the youngest among all these places, Postvertau, Tasik Temenggong, and Baling. Currently, Taman Midah is involved, and your church is involved in Batu 19. In Cameron. Okay, actually, this Orang Asli ministry is started in 1972. It's already 51 years And Taman Midah Church is only 50 years. In fact, the ministry has started far before the Taman Midah, even before the Taman Midah Church started. It started by Pastor Timothy Lai, way back into 1972. And his focus is mainly on Tapa and Cameron area. And what project and property finance and OA ministry is all about? Okay, the ministry we divided into 3 zones. We have Tapa zone, Cameron Highland zone, and Pekalan Hulu zone. And in Tapa zone, you can see these are all the kampungs parked under Tapa zone. And in Cameron Highland zone, this is which your church is involved, 19 Mile, or now we call it Sungai Joe. And of course, Post Batau is another challenging place whereby the terrain to access to Post Batau, some of the villages are very challenging because of the terrain. And of course, Pekalan Hulu, the most challenging is still the Tasik Temenggong, whereby some places we can only access by boat. Well, this is our vision for the Orang Asli ministry. First, self-dependent. Well, because a lot of time, being the biggest spender, we always encourage them to be self-dependent. We give them a lot of things. We train them in order to have sufficient income to sustain themselves, rather than highly depends on the LCM or highly depends on the individual who support them. Of course, I'm very glad to say at the moment we have a lot of supporters by the MGO, by overseas churches, by individual in this ministry. And of course, another vision we have for them is self-sustaining and self-evangelical. In fact, we are very proud to say that we managed to train local breed. We managed to train Orang Asli as a pastor. So far, currently serving Orang Asli pastor by the Orang Asli, we have 3 of them. So we are training more. So in fact, rather than we import the pastor, currently all the deans, pastor are basically imported from Sabah. But we are looking forward, we are going to train the locals to become pastor. So this is our main ministry involved in the Orang Asli by the LCM. Because normally local churches are involved in certain area. But on HQ, we involve in mission, the training center, the discipleship, the Rumah Rose, community, education, rubber, woman, chicken, and ginger project. I'm very sure everybody very familiar, especially Taman Midah, about the ginger project. Right, now this is the latest committee. After the BGA, this is the latest Orang Asli district. You can see the dean in the center. This is Pastor Daniel. The rest are the committee member of the district. We train Orang Asli to mission among themselves, right? Because we believe that for us to go there to ministry them is more difficult than them themselves. Therefore, we train them to ministry to the Orang Asli. We have Lakeview Training Center to teach them the survival skill and of course to equip them with more agriculture skill, modern agriculture skill. We even have a section like teaching them how to make compost fertilizer with some, of course we import the speakers some is from Sabah and many from the NGO. We have discipleship programs. This is the local breed Pastor Jamal. We sent to STS and currently is serving in Pekalan Hulu as a pastor. And of course, this community work, we have to train the women to do handicraft. I believe many of you see all this before. This is not LV brand, this is Orang Asli brand. We collect the 3-in-1 foil and teach them how to make into a purse. In fact, these teachers are all we import in from Sabah. We have a special section. We bring in the teachers from Sabah and teach Orang Asli to make all these handicraft. And you can see even now, along Batu 20 and 21, along the roadside while you're coming down from Cameron, they are still selling. This is the old pictures, Women Fellowship. Okay, this Labor project, we have been giving out more than 8,000 trees to the Orang Asli. Because Orang Asli are basically, they are shifting from places to places. You can talk to them over the years, but the next time you go look for them, they'll be disappeared. They'll be somewhere else. Reason why they do so is the resources, what they are getting is all from the hutan, from the jungle. In order to gather resources, right, they have to go into new area whereby they have sufficient food for them to survive. For example, we did one program, a special project to teach Orang Asli how to do agriculture. I personally, in fact, at home, I'm not that hardworking. We chanko everything, we plant the vegetable for them, and we put not barbed wire, we put wired fence in order to deter the wild boar from attacking the vegetables. We teach them, we put up videos and tell them how to grow vegetables, right? And this vegetable is very new, we have so many types of vitamin. I'll be talking to them about the good thing of planting their own vegetables. You know what happened? 1 hour only. Next time you go there, it's all full of grass. Then I started to notice to them, they're getting their vegetables from the hutan. No need to plant, right? What I want to eat today, I'll go to the hutan, I will get it. Rather than I have to struggle all the way to plant. So therefore, after this, I noticed the process of teaching the Orang Asli is talking about very long term. You cannot be one shot or two, 3 times they will learn. They need to be, because they have been living like that for the past probably thousands of years. For example, this rubber sapling project. We're giving them rubber tree sapling. I noticed after involved in this project, I noticed there is a difference in terms of price. There are 50-cent tree and 5 ringgit 50-cent tree. What is the difference? 50-cent tree are basically those trees grow somewhere else. They just pluck it and put into poly bag. They sell 50 cents one tree. And the 550 is properly crafted, meaning to say the hours will be a lot shorter than the 50-cent tree. So with our very limited of fund, what we can do is we mix. We have to mix 50 cent and 550 tree for them to plant. Of course, first of all, the major, the purpose of having this project is to encourage them not to move around. Secondly, they have constant income, because rubber tapping you can keep, not like oil palm. Once you harvest, you have to send to factory to refinery. But for rubber tree, you can keep while the price is high, or you can keep to a certain amount, then you start to sell. But I noticed in one of the Orang Asli kampong, which I visited, I look at the rubber tree is this size, talking about diameter about 300 mm, very big trees. Wow, I said, wow, this tree has been there for quite some time. I said, how long have you planted the rubber tree? They said more than 10 years. Wow, good, should be a lot of harvest already. Then when I go near to the tree, normally for those who have experience in tapping rubbers, you see the cutting line is very nice, line by line. Then I noticed this rubber tree is like, they use the machete, parang, cut like that, left, right, up, down. I was looking at it. Wow, why is this tree? So many cutting. Then I noticed, we give them rubber tree. The next thing we need to do, to teach them how to tap the rubber tree. Correct? We plant the rubber tree without the proper knowledge how to tap the rubber tree, and then eventually they will kill the tree. So, the next section we have after that rubber sapling is to teach them how to do rubber tapping. And of course, we have to invite those who are very experienced in tapping rubber to teach them. Wow, this chicken project, this is Pastor Chu. He left us back to the STS, back to Sabah already. Well, for this chicken project, we are very excited. A member in Yipo Church are willing to sponsor chicks and also money to build the Reban Ayam. We are very excited. The first project, they started with 200 chicks. 200 chicks. And they built a very nice Reban for the Orang Asli to take care. Because we have to teach them commercialize rather than... Do you notice that Orang Asli don't feed their chicken? They just simply whatever they have balance, just throw, and then the chicken will just find themselves the food as well as the balance whatever orang asli eat. But this is commercial farming. So we are teaching them commercial farming, and the food we are giving to the chicken is corn. Corn, huh? So if you notice in pasar, those chicken with very yellow skin are selling more expensive because they feed with corn. So in order to get high income, we teach them to feed with corn. But a couple of days later, Pastor Chu called me, brother. I was like, wow, must be very excited. No? Brother, itu ayam sudah mati separuh. So I was like, what? Because to them, chicken should be running everywhere without need to clean up, without need to give them food on regular basis. Therefore, the first project, 200 chicken, almost 100 died. So again, I think because when we implement the project, we need to equip them with sufficient knowledge. Yeah, because for us, like, we are so used to it, or should give them food every regular basis to clean the chicken, reban, things like that. So Pastor Chu, in order to teach them, Pastor Chu built another chicken reban next to it and teach the orang asli how to rear chicken. Of course, the first harvest, the final survivor is talking about, I think 34 only out of 200. But anyway, good start, good start. I can only say it's a good start. Okay, next, you can see your brother here. This ginger project. This ginger project, I think you guys know more than me. Of course, we have to thank Taman Midah for chipping in a lot of manpower, money, as well as time to kickstart this project. In fact, the initial idea of starting this project is excellent because we have the first microcredit whereby we give the money, we loan the money to orang asli. In the hours, we will get back our money and we start another project with a similar concept. However, due to a lot of unseen factor, I believe everybody knows this project didn't end up well. But the first hours, I was so excited. I believe some of you guys also get to buy some of the first hours, but second and subsequently, the hours are getting poorer and poorer. Next, we have children ministry. Okay, in order to change the orang asli, we cannot change the adult. Our focus are mainly on children and women. Because most of the time, when we step into the orang asli village, you notice that the men are rarely around. Why? First of all, they have to work to bring income to the family, as well as they are hunting in the jungle. So the next thing we need to focus are basically on their children. We need, while they are growing up, we equip them with enough skills and of course biblical words in order for them to change their kampong. Not for them, the adult, to change. Because to change an adult is so difficult. So we will start with the children. Our focus on LCM mainly on the children ministry as well as the women. And this is touching heart. I believe Taman Midah is very familiar with it. Of course, with this program, because most of the case when orang asli go to school, they are basically empty with empty stomach. So the dropout rate is one of the highest among the Malaysian. Well, with this program, at least there is some food in their stomach. If you ask me if everybody been fed, I'm not really sure, but that is the best we can do. A lot of time we have complaints. We receive complaints from members who contribute to Touching Heart. So why I do not receive any news from your LCM? Well, what happened to the orang asli children? Of course, they are comparing to World Vision. Because World Vision are very special and they have a professional to run the program. But on our LCM side, mainly are by the volunteers. Of course, we try to equip, and of course, we will email whatever happened to the orang asli children. Example, if they score, for example, they score very good result in the school, we will definitely send the result to the sponsor. Of course, we do not encourage the sponsor to meet the orang asli children because normally being so-called parents to the orang asli, we tend to give them gift. Right? We will meet the children. If we meet the children, we will give them gift. So we do not want to have the children will compare. Those with the parents who come to visit them with gift, and then the other children they do not have. We don't want to give chance for them to compare. Therefore, we do not encourage to meet the children. But of course, yearly we encourage them to send you with the greeting cards if possible. Next, what the LCM do, we build libraries for the Asli, but only thing is it's very difficult to find Bahasa books, especially in Christian. Bahasa books are very difficult to find. So those libraries we build, we get a lot of sponsors, mainly in English. So, and being orang Asli, you know their understanding of English are very poor. So we really seek, if those who have Bahasa in Christian books especially, kindly let me know. Because it's very difficult. We can, now we are building another library in Lakeview. We are equipped with the books. All the books we have to indent from Indonesia. And that also we have to use a different way of indent. Well, this is a very good project, Roma Rose. As I mentioned, because orang Asli are basically they are far from the school, and the drop-out rate is very high. We have this Roma Rose whereby we bring the orang Asli children to stay there and teach them, and also send them to school and even give them food. We have a cook, we have a driver to. It's just like fostering parents for the orang Asli children. Mainly, we are basically housing those secondary school and above. Not to, and many of them are from Taman, because Taman is a very remote place. To reach school is as close as, I would say, impossible for them. These are the children program we run throughout the years. We have youth ministry. Our focus is there. This is Tithes Semengo. Many years ago, I think about 20 years ago, when I first visited the Tithes Semengo, the men's basically they don't wear pants. They wear like sarong and not sarong, just wrap the center. But now no more already. This is one of the flood we are helping over the. If you still remember, one of the year very major flood, and Tamango Dam are releasing the water. And many of the boats and the houses are below the water. This is our next 5 years plan. And of course, before this is our mission. Before I mention this, I would like to throw a challenge. To Taman Midah Church especially. Because Taman Midah Church has been partnering 19 Mile or Sungai Jo for the past many years. And a new church has been built in 19 Mile. Now, we are looking back into the old building. Yep. There is suggestion to turn it into homestay. There is suggestion to turn it into library. There is suggestion to turn it into cultural center. And of course, in terms of fund, probably we can help to raise the fund in order to rebuild. If not, the building, the Asli will take back because we are not using the building anymore. So my challenge to the council of Taman Midah, probably let us work together and put our head together and see what we can do over the old building. Currently is not occupied. And of course, the purpose of shifting the church to a new location is the building is not stable anymore. So the challenge is, what can we do with the old building? If not, the old building will definitely collapse, and then Asli will take back to build their house because we are not using the piece of land. So I hope the council probably can come out at least some proposal. What are we going to do with the old building? Are we going to turn it into a homestay? Is there anybody who will take up the homestay to stay there? Or we open up to the tourists to feel being or staying together with the Asli. Probably this is one of the idea of the homestay. And the ELCS South Synod have been asking me over the months, what are we going to do with the building? Because initially our plan is to build a library. But I noticed just a library is not good enough because the area is very, very big. So we can make use of the area and turn it into something else. Probably commercialize it. Yeah, probably we can commercialize it. But anyway, the idea I put on the table for the Taman Midah Council to decide what to do next. Probably can keep in touch with me. This is our mission for the next 5 years for the Orang Asli ministry. Of course, top priority is self-sustaining because we have been spending LCM 800,000 every year, and the budget is increasing over the years. I think by another 2-3 years time, it will be 1 million. Now, we won't be surprised. We're going to use up LCM 1 million per year for Orang Asli ministry only. That's why our top priority is self-sustaining, how to sustain the ministry. Of course, we are looking into even someone is offering Orang Asli ministry, commercialize it. We start to plant Musang King, commercialize Musang King and get the income to support the ministry. But all this is all we are looking into many ways of sustaining the ministry, because our main supporter now is ELCA, LCB, LCA, ELCB. Their budget are cutting. Every year they are cutting the budget of this ministry. So we have no choice but to look into other avenue of income to sustain or to support the ministry. Of course, our priority is to make sure that the Orang Asli can support themselves. Right now, they are highly depends on the LCM to support. So, of course, consistent in weekly worship, pastoral care and counseling. Good thing about it is we have one penolong pastor in every Orang Asli, LCM Orang Asli village. We have one penolong pastor. So, during the pandemic time, right, the pastors are not allowed to travel among the Orang Asli kampung. So the best thing is the penolong pastor, the worship is still carry on before we start with the Zoom, and Zoom is only applicable in town. Now, those remote areas, you don't even have internet access, don't talk about Zoom. So the penolong pastor are basically to keep the ministry going by we having weekly worship and even weekly Bible study. So promote a healthy lifestyle. One of these incidents whereby I go to fish with the Temenggong Orang Asli. In our ice box, we have ice, we have water. Then I ask him, his name is Johari. Johari, air mau ah? I pass him water. He said, tak payah, no need. So he just scoop the lake water like that. Wow, I don't know, I'm impressed or I'm very freaked out. Look at the way he scooped the water like that, drink. So imagine how much of bacteria in his body running around. So I can say, yeah, I'm impressed, but in another way, I was like, wow, I'm very worrying. Why the understanding of health, the care, or the clean water is so low, no? So that's why we have a lot of activities to promote to them healthier lifestyle. Then building a new generation of leadership of OA ministry, whereby we are keep on emphasizing. But main important is to equip them with enough income. Well, this is another mega project by the LCM, OATCC, Orang Asli Training and Cultural Center. Any of you know that we are LCM, we have two buildings, whereby one is Lakeview, one is Mission Bungalow, open to public to stay. Anybody stay in Lakeview before? No? Yes? Don't know? Oh, some of you stay in Lakeview before, and many of you don't know we have a building whereby we open to public to stay in Lakeview. Don't know? Okay, never mind. So, this Lakeview, we're going to convert one, we already converted one of the building into OATCC, whereby we train Orang Asli. We're going to have, you look at where we're going uphill or downhill of Cameron Highland, you see a lot of Orang Asli store at the roadside. We're going to copy the same concept and build one in Lakeview. Because Lakeview is a very nice parking area, you have very big parking, and at the roadside, we're going to build one. But before we build out the hardware, we need to train them, we need to build the software. So we have every month, we have programs to teach Orang Asli. Our intention is to build a cultural center whereby the tourists can just stop by to buy the Orang Asli hours, or as well as to enjoy the Orang Asli, or to understand the Orang Asli culture. Probably we have a Semang dance among them will be one of the program to show the tourists. So at least we catch attention of the tourists and become an income. Of course, we will collect tickets. for this cultural village. But this, we have a lot of manpower to do that. At the moment, we still on the software basis only. We are teaching them and to, of course, beside the cultural, we need to let them, the tourists, know the history of Orang Asli, especially in Cameroon. So this become a very good reference for the tourists in future. So this is one of the biggest projects LCM are looking on now. Of course, the third challenge we have now is aging worship hall. As you can see, many Orang Asli buildings are basically built by wood. And because the wood is the best food for termite, favorite food, therefore, many aging worship hall we have to rebuild, renovation. All these are talking about dollar and cent. We need money to do that. And of course, we have very limited resources. The Christian in Malaysia is only 8%. And to serve the Orang Asli community, beside manpower, we need a lot of resources. And we are with very limited resources. Currently, the biggest sponsors are cutting their budget over the years. So we have to look for a new avenue to increase our income. And of course, nomad lifestyle, because of the main food they are getting is from the jungle. Therefore, they have to move around. Yeah, from that's why currently we are encourage them to plant rubber trees in order for them to stay there long, so that at least they can harvest a tree and get income. Next, I think this is basically our focus targeting for other churches while sharing how to be part of the Orang Asli ministry. I think not applicable in Taman Midah because Taman Midah has been so supportive. I have to give thanks on that. Okay, of course, invite a committee, one of them, and of course, OA pastor to share in a congregation during Orang Asli Sunday and being part of the partner, and Taman Midah is very good on that. And of course, Touching Heart program, I believe many of you guys have been sponsoring over the years. Okay, after talking about all this, I would like to share my experience in the ministry. My unforgettable experience in Orang Asli ministry. And I've been serving in the ministry for more than 20 years and as Pastor Lee introduced, in LCM as a chair for more than 10 years. So in one of the incident, I heard the pastor said there is another Orang Asli kampung deep into, they call it Kampung Tenlan, deep into the jungle. So I was like, how far? The pastor said, you can only go there by foot. Yeah, no other means of transportation. Then I said, how far? He said, to and fro is 6 hours. Walk, hike and walk. I was like, okay, 6 hours, I'm still okay with 6 hours. No, before that, I'll start to train. 3 months, very hard training. Anybody heard of Wawasan Hill in Puchong? I start to hike the hill for 3 months, continuous, every week, 2-3 times for 3 months to get myself prepared for this hike, to visit the Orang Asli kampung. Because I heard there is a need from them. They asked us to pastoring their church in this kampung by the name of Tenlan. I'm very excited. I said, Pastor, I want to go there and visit. At least I know what is happening in that particular kampung. Then I asked Pastor, you been there? They said, yes, but it's very difficult terrain because you have to go through many rivers, and because of the terrain, you walk through rivers and uphill, downhill rivers, and uphill, downhill and rivers. And your feet is constantly wet. It's very, very, in fact, when you constantly wet for 3 hours and still walking, the blizzard will definitely, your feet will be bengkak. Okay, anyway, then one of the my members, she said, a young lady said, I want to join. I look at her, you sure you want to join? Yeah, I want to join. I said, okay, can. Condition, you do this Wawasan Hill in 1.5 hours, up and down in 1.5 hours. And I'm going to time it. Because I said, I don't want to bring luggage along with me. Yeah. He said, okay, I will do it. So I time myself. Okay, now we start 1.5 hours. You make sure you finish this hill in 1.5 hours. Unfortunately, she did it in 1 hour and 29 minutes. So no choice, right? Okay, I have to take her into my team. So 4 of us, we go into the jungle. Wow, this Orang Asli Kampong Tenlan. While we are going all the way, because when I'm still very young, my uncle used to bring me to do hunting. I'm from Kampong, right? We do hunting. So when we do hunting, we leave a lot of mark, make sure we know the route to come out. But because I'm going with the orang asli, I do nothing. I'll be talking only, and I even bring a lot of survival kit with me, compass, but I cannot find the map. I bring compass, bring everything, but I do not use it, and walk all the way into the jungle. And then, of course, uphill, downhill, and we saw a landslide. We have to avoid the landslide and go all the way into around Kampong. And finally, we arrived. Then I talk to them. I know what they want. We even bring some rice and everything for them. But of course, they have to carry themselves. We invite them out to carry their own rice into their kampong because one rice is 10 kilo. I cannot carry 30 over packet of 30. That will be 300 over kilo. So we invite them to come out to take the rice and oil and a lot of things to their kampong. While on the way out from the kampong, what happened is because the sister is very tired, so she walked very slow. Because in a convoy or in a hiking team, you have a leader and a sweeper behind. Now the sweeper is make sure everybody is on the track. So because the lady is very slow, I'm together with the leader in front. I feel very bored. We have no common topic to talk. Then I stopped there. Then I said, never mind. I will stop here and wait for those behind. So the leader said, okay. So by the time when I stopped there and wait for them, I noticed they walk straight up. Yeah, I noticed they walk all the way like that. Then I waited for about 10 minutes. Then the three fella behind reached here. They asked me, where are they heading? I said, go straight. Then from that particular point, I already make a mistake. We walk all the way into jungle. By right, we enter the jungle at 9 a.m. We're supposed to come out latest by 4 p.m. Latest by 4 p.m. And then what happened was the sweeper, because he's very slow, the team behind is very slow. So sweeper is probably 2-3 minutes behind. So from the point we walk straight, the sweeper already turned. So 4 of us walk straight into jungle, all the way. So what happened was, because in jungle you don't see road sign, you don't see road name, you don't see house number. So everything is the same, right? Everything looks like the same. I walk all the way, and then I notice it doesn't seem like the way we are coming from. So I asked them, okay, 3 of them say, yeah, something like that. So majority, 75% say yes, 1 say no, it's still yes. So majority votes. So we go in all the way until we climb up a hill. I saw a big tree whereby even 10 people, you can't hug it. Very big tree. I noticed we got lost. And then we climbed all the way uphill. We take out our handphone. That was before MCO. We take out our handphone. Wow, I see signal. Still got signal. Who should I call? Should I call my wife? In Subang, they said I'm got lost in the jungle in Post Bertau. I cannot, right? If I call for rescue, the next thing happen to me will be TV3 will be at the headline. I said, cannot. I don't want to be headline in the next day news. So what happened is, we said, I keep we know where's the location. Then I start to mark the way all the way down. While we are going downhill, we mark all the way. And we've been walking in the jungle for 6 hours. We cannot find our way out. So after that, the sweeper reached the Orang Asli Kampong, name it as Kampong Tenlan. They sent out their search and rescue by the Orang Asli. So they search us from the river. They come from the mountain to look for us. These 4 Chinese fellas missing in the jungle. So many hours later, we've been walking blindly and it's getting very dark. 5 o'clock in the jungle as good as 8 o'clock. It's getting very dark, and thank God I bring along, because I'm very kiasu, I bring along a lot of survival kit, I bring a lot of food, I bring a lot of water. That's why I always over carry myself. My luggage is so-called very heavy. Then I check with them, what do you have? So they have, like, for example, 1 roti. Another one I remember most, the roti, the apang bale. I eat the best apang bale in the jungle. Is one of the member carried apang bale. I was like, wow, apang bale. That is the best apang bale I ever eat. Because our rotation is very rare. We only have bread. If we try to overnight in the jungle, probably 1-2 days we still surviving. The 3rd day probably gone already. So, thank God, no? while we are on the way down the Asli, the tracker found us. And then we are back to civilized, so-called civilized. And after that, I asked the Asli, what happened if we stay in a jungle? They said, definitely gone. Because they asked me, where have you been? I said, I saw the big tree. He said, if you are in a big tree, even 2 weeks, we cannot locate you. Because the big tree, normally we don't go there because a lot of black panther. So thank God. So I walk all the way to the civilized again in this Kampong Taman. Of course, this gave me a very unforgettable experience. When I asked to share, I would definitely share this experience. 6 or 7 hours in jungle for walking like blindly. Or torchlight in jungle, you can only see one small spot only. It's not like broad daylight. Because in jungle, everything is very dark. Your torchlight is one small spot. And if you are 5 feet in front of me, right, you can't hear me already. Because it's all camouflaged by the bushes, the trees, the short trees. 5 feet only, you can't see really. Even with white shirt, 5 feet in front, you don't see. That's why a lot of people got lost in jungle, because you can't even see far. At night, I can say only 2 feet. Your visibility is only 2 feet only. Therefore, we keep very close together. But thank God, until today, I'm still stand here and talk to you guys. Okay, this is another, I think my time is out. This is another attempt to the Asli Kampong whereby we have to build bridges for our 4x4 to cross. The same kampong again, Kampong Taman, the terrain is so difficult. We have to build bridge ourselves for our 4x4 to cross. So this is one of the process we are building with our chainsaw. This is my car. I lost track. I almost, thank God, I'm still surviving. If I fail this attempt to cross a bridge, I'll be 30 feet below the terrain, and most probably on the express to heaven already. So, well, last words I would like to share. The harvests are plentiful, but workers are few. Please help if you have the heart for the Asli, contact me. We have a lot of work to do, but our workers are very, very few. Continue to pray for us, and also for you guys for continued support in the Taman Midah, in the Kampong Sungai Yeoh. This you can, in order to know more about the ministry, probably you can click onto our Facebook. We update on the Facebook. And this is my name. I need to thank my right-hand man. I have a left-hand man, and my left-hand man is Brother Thomas Lim. He's the one who deals with all the foreign partners, because we have to write report to LCA. No report, no money. LCA is very simple. No report, no money. So our reports every 3 months, we have to write the report to them what LCM is doing, in order for them to continuing to send in the money. So my left-hand man is Brother Thomas Lim. He settled all the report side. And of course, not forgetting Brother Meng Chi has been so helpful in the Ginger project. I welcome you back to the on board again in the LCM Orang Asli ministry, because I'm looking for successor. I've been there for too long. So in fact, I'm really looking for successor to take over this ministry to grow another level. Okay, of course, also I would like to thank my wife, also been very supportive, because always like sometimes we feel very tired. Going into Orang Asli overnight, 3 days, 2 nights is no joke in Orang Asli. No water, nothing, no toilet. Now better already. Now got toilet. Those days no toilet with the dig holes. But my wife been very supportive. Said this is God ministry, just do it. So until today, I'm still going strong, because my wife been very supportive. Do it, this God ministry, you go. Anything about the family, I will take care. You just go there. We've been there sometimes 3 days, 2 nights, and certain places I go, I tell my wife, I don't know when I come back. If the water, the next area we're going to visit is Post Bala in Gua Musang. You can see 2-3 days ago, one Orang Asli been eaten by tiger. And that is a village we're going to visit, because Orang Asli call us to visit them. But that village, when we go in, we know it's a 4 days, 3 night trip, but it can be 2 weeks trip, because when the water level rise, we cannot come back anymore. Our 4x4 have to basically cross the river, but when the weather is good, it's probably 1 feet water only. When the water level raised, it become 4-5 feet, which is impossible for us to come back. So I just tell my wife, I go there. When return, do know. Depends on weather, and pray hard, please. Okay, thank you very much.